What's going on, YouTube fam? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about Middle Eastern fragrances that actually did not work for me. Middle Eastern fragrances are a big topic of conversation right now in the fragrance community, and rightfully so. There's some really, really beautiful fragrances out there, but unfortunately, sometimes not all fragrances operate the same on our skin, or they just don't work for our particular tastes. So today we're going to be talking about Middle Eastern fragrances that I did try that actually did not work for me, and I have passed them along to another home. All right, so we're just going to rip the Band-Aid off, and by that I mean we're going to talk about a fragrance that is really, really hyped right now, and it is from Lattafa. It is Bade'e Al-Oud Honor and Glory, the one in the white and gold bottle. I so desperately wanted and tried to love this fragrance, and it's not a bad fragrance. It's just not what I wanted it to be. A lot of people talk about this pineapple upside down cake that it's supposed to smell like, and I really didn't get that at all. So on me, it went more of it was very creamy. It almost was like a frothy, unsweet turmeric latte. That's really what it made me think of. It's really interesting, but I bought it for that sticky sweet pineapple gourmand quality, and it just was not gourmand to me at all. But what it was very nice. And also, no matter how much I sprayed, it didn't really last very long on me either. So for those reasons, unfortunately, this one just did not work for me. Moving right along to a sister fragrance of that one is Bade'e Al-Oud Amethyst from Lattafa. This is said to smell like Inicio's Absolute Aphrodisiac. Am I getting that right? No. Atomic Rose. It's said to smell like Atomic Rose. Now, I have smelled Atomic Rose and I've smelled this one side by side. I will say they're very, very close. What I dislike about this scent is just the profile in general. I just don't care for this type of fragrance. This was a very metallic rose, but it was so overly metallic that I couldn't really even appreciate or detect the rose in it. So I didn't get a whole lot of depth or character. It just smelled so metallic, almost like coins. That's really weird, but yeah, this just didn't really mix well on my skin personally. The next fragrance that unfortunately did not work for me is Qaed Al-Fursan. Now, I would say of the two, between the one in the black bottle and the one in the white bottle, this is probably the better one of the two, but the white one just works better on my skin for some reason. This one, again, has a tiny, tiny touch of a metallic note that kind of disturbs me a little bit, but it's just a very weak pineapple fragrance. If I'm honest, I'm already a little bit spoiled because I own Lamar from Qaed, and there will never be a better pineapple fragrance in my opinion. I try them all, and this one just fell really flat for me. It's good value for the money, no doubt, but it smells like pineapple juice that is still in the can, and it's just very, very poor performance in my opinion. I think the white one performs way better, but there's some debate on, that fragrance. But yeah, this one is it's not bad, but it's not great. It was just very, very flat to me. It was very one-dimensional, and I love Lamar. There's just no better fragrance out there that has pineapple as the dominant note, and I feel like this is almost trying to be Lamar, and it just can't. So it just wasn't for me. The next one that I want to talk about was so sad and so disappointing for me because I love a good citrus fragrance. I really, really am starting to find that I love certain types of citruses. And unfortunately, one that did not work for me is Rasana by Rasasi. I so was hoping that this was going to be the citrus fragrance for me, but no matter how much I drenched myself in it, I could not smell it. I think I might be anosmic to it, so maybe it's not the fragrance's fault, but I couldn't smell it at all. My husband couldn't smell it. My coworkers couldn't smell it. So I don't know. It was very, very weak performing no matter how hard I went on the trigger. So I can't even really critique the fragrance furthermore because there just really wasn't much to critique. It was gone in seconds. So that one was on the chopping block as well. The last fragrance that I want to talk about that unfortunately was a pass for me was Raghba. I wanted to love Raghba so much, and it was one of the first fragrances that I talked about on my channel back during pandemic days. And I liked it at first and I struggled with it even then. And I think I've just come to find out that I do like and appreciate oud, but I'm very particular about how it's used and how it's blended and what notes it's paired with. When I say blended, I mean what notes it's paired with. This one was just too funky for me. I didn't get the sweetness. I didn't get that sugar. I didn't get that depth. It was really just about the oud, and the oud came through really punchy, really quickly, and it lasted throughout the life of the fragrance. And it went, and oud can do this. Oud can be really clean and medicinal. Oud can be really sweet and vanillic, or it can be funky and a little disturbing. And so this one just went kind of in the body odor direction for me. So I just couldn't appreciate it. Thankfully, I only had a sample that I was working through, but yeah, I know a lot of people really love Raghba from Lattafa, and it just didn't do what I was hoping it to do. So that had to be a pass for me as well. All right, guys, this is a little bit more short and sweet today. I don't like to dwell too much on fragrances that I dislike, but with all of the fragrance hype that happens on YouTube with reviewers, I think it's really important to revisit things that we just happen not to like, not for the sake of being negative, and not dwelling too much on like, this is a terrible fragrance or this is disgusting. I don't think that people are liars for hyping up fragrances if they really enjoy them. But I think it's also a good balance and a good practice to let you guys know what's not working for us as well as what we think you should try. So as always, don't trust reviewers, trust your own skin, trust your own nose, and do what works for you as far as fragrance is concerned. And if you happen to dislike something that's really, really popular, that's okay. And it doesn't mean that you have an underdeveloped palate. It doesn't mean you have an underdeveloped taste. We like what we like and we don't like what we don't like. So those are Middle Eastern fragrances that unfortunately did not work for me. If you're interested in checking out what did work for me and Middle Eastern fragrances that I highly, highly recommend, I will link that up here. So thank you once again for joining me and have an amazing day.